Hi, this is Zach Anderson, and in this video I'm going to be going over Lab 4, Part 2, which is the DHCP section. Without further ado, let's begin. So I already went over all of this, examining DHC packet is what it's about. So we did this experiment, cleared this, and we set up everything as we need it to be. So let's move on to the Wireshark capture. Let's begin with question number 1. So before that, actually, we see that we have boot P filtered up here, so that is important. Now we can move on to question number 1, which is our DHCP messages sent over UDP or TCP. And we can see right here that is the user datagram protocol, so UDP. Question number 2 is what is the link layer address of our host? So we can actually go to this request and we will expand this Ethernet 2, and we will see that it is going to be D8EC5E. So that is going to be what our host is. What values in the DHCP discover message differentiate this message from the request? So we can go down and look at the discover and the request, and we end up finding that the message type is the big difference. What is the number 4? What is the value of the transaction ID? So we find it to be of the first 4 discover, offer, request messages. So we can go down, and if I expand this section here to make sure everything is open, we are going to end up finding, where is it? Right here. Here's this transaction ID. So when compared to the first 4, we see that it is 0x53AB723A. What are the values of the transaction ID in the second request ACK set? And we can see that this ends up being 0xC2A0B672. So we find that those are the proper IDs. And what is the purpose of the transaction ID field? It is used to match DHCP messages that belong in the same session between client and server. 5, a host uses blah 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 blah. If the IP address is not set until the end of the message, what are the values used? So we actually see here the 0.0.0.0, and then the DHCP uses its serve IP before everything is verified at the end. Number 6, what is the IP address of your DHCP server? We see it right here, 192.168.4.1, and then I guess we can see it up top in a few different places. But what is number 7? What is the IP address of your DHCP server offering to your host? So it is actually offering this fellow right here, the 168.4.2.8, and it is contained in the DHCP offer request. So it's right here. Number 8, what values in the trace indicate there is the absence of a relay agent, and this is the gateway IP address of 0, and no, there is no relay agent in my experiment because I compared it to this value. Number 9, explain the purpose of the router and subnet mask lines in the DHCP offer message. So the router is the IP address of the default gateway, can't really reach external networks without it. And the subnet mask lines defines the range of IP address considered local and tells the system which addresses are on the same subnet. Number 10, explain the purpose of lease time. So it's the amount of time a DHCP client is allowed to use the IP address assigned by the DHCP server. And we can find this here. And we see that we have an IP address lease time of 4 hours and then 14400. Number 11, the purpose of the release message. So it's sent to inform the client that the server is giving up the IP address voluntarily. And then, does the DHCP server issue an acknowledgement? No, it does not. And what would happen if the client's release message is lost? It just may keep the IP marked as in use, but it will eventually expire. Number 12, the very last question. Clear this filter. So we can come up here and I can clear that. Were any ARP packets sent or received? So we can simply filter that. And yes, we see that they were exchanged, and the purpose was to resolve any MAC addresses or to detect any sort of conflicts and announce new IPs after assignment. Super easy and short lab. Maybe not easy, I would say simple on the second one. So that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching.